Are the Milwaukee Bucks in trouble after having a tough start to the NBA season? I am your host, JWock for the podcast Sports Talk with JWock, and we will be talking about this subject right after this. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sports Talk with JWock. Once again, I'm JWock, and today we're going to be talking about the Milwaukee Bucks and how they have started off slowly to start the NBA season. But I do think there are some ways that they can fix this, and I don't think there's any need to panic if you're a Bucks fan, which, by the way, to address this, yes, I'm a Bulls fan. We are rivals, but all due respect, the Bucks are much better than us. I'm not making fun of them. I am trying to help them succeed going on throughout the rest of the season because, well, they have started the season off 1-6, and there are many issues that I personally think are causing this. One of them being the defensive ability with the Bucks. So if we look at the ratings for defensive rating in the NBA, which the average defensive rating you want to have, or at least the average defensive rating in general, is around 110. So if you're in that range or below 110, that's good defense. If you're above 110, that means you're below average and you're not playing good defense. So there are about 9 teams that are above, or that are at 110 and below. So technically, a lot of teams have been off to kind of a slow start defensively. But if we look at the Bucks, we have to go down to, they're 21st in the league right now with defensive rating. They have a rating of 116.5, so they are 6.5 points above the average defensive rating in the NBA, which is not good. And that has been, in my opinion, one of the biggest issues. They are getting good amount of blocks. Let's check the steals. Let's see how many steals they're getting per game. They're ranked 29th in steals. And they average, it looks like, 6 steals a game. So, and then they average 4.9 blocks, which is good on the block side. But steals is definitely an issue. Obviously, steals and blocks isn't everything, but the Bucks are just really struggling defensively. You can tell a lot of guards are being able to go against Damian Lillard, because it just feels like Damian Lillard, he's a smaller guard. He's a lot easier to go and attack, especially now that we're kind of going into a bigger guard league. We've seen a lot of teams kind of take advantage of Damian Lillard, and the Bucks just need to be able to play better defense, not just individually, but as a team. I think they need to go out and get some defensive guys. I think losing Patrick Beverley, I believe they had him last season. Losing Patrick Beverley was definitely a big loss for them. And obviously we can't deny the fact that the Bucks have been missing multiple players due to injuries. Specifically, Chris Middleton, he hasn't played one game this season. He's had ankle surgery, and they're still saying there is no timetable for his return, which is a bit of a concern for the Bucks, especially since they are trying to be championship contending team, as rightfully so. They have they have the stars to do it. But I don't think the stars are the issue of this team. I think it's the depth of this team. Obviously, Giannis is hurt as well. I forgot to mention that. I can't remember what it was, but there is just some soreness and just tightness, which has caused some discomfort for Giannis. I don't expect him to be gone or out for very long, so that's not a big issue. But in my opinion, like I said earlier, it's the depth of this team. I think your starting lineup's solid. I've just heard that Andre Jackson, I believe, is going to be the starter tonight as I'm recording this on Thursday, November 7th. So let's see who they play tonight. November 7th. They play the Jazz tonight. So, they're starting Andre Jackson over Gary Trent Jr., which is a good change. It's good to see change, especially after starting 1-6. You kind of have to do that. But I do think the Bucks need to work on their depth. I mean, you think their depth pieces, I guess, if you really want to say after Giannis, Dame, Chris Middleton, and then let's say Andre Jackson's the starting shooting guard for the foreseeable future, and then Brook Lopez as your center. You've got Gary Trent Jr., who's a solid depth piece, I will say that. Bobby Portis is also a great great depth piece. Honestly, one of the best six-man in the league. Then you got Taurean Prince, who's also solid. After that, though, it really goes downhill, in my opinion. You've got solid players that like specialists in certain areas, but then after that, it's like there's not much that they can really offer. AJ Johnson is the rookie they drafted this year. He's been getting very few minutes every game. Right now in the season, he's averaging 0.7 points per game, 0.3 rebounds, and he's shooting 33.3% from the field. Obviously, that's going to change throughout time. I think AJ Johnson's actually a really solid rookie. I think he's going to be a solid player for them. I think he's just got to have time to develop, which you don't really have maybe the greatest backup point guard, which right now I would say is like DeLon Wright, which is okay. I mean, let's look at DeLon Wright's stats for the season. 2.1 points per game. Like, he's not really doing much different. Might as well give AJ a shot. Then you have Marjon Beauchamp, who's also just really not getting many minutes. If we check out his recent games, I mean, the most minutes he's gotten has been 5. So he hasn't been getting much minutes. They're kind of just trying to get the veterans to play. We have Pat Connaughton, who's averaging 4.3 points per game, who's a main player coming off the bench. That's not going to do the job for you if you're trying to be a good team and to win a championship. You also have AJ Green, who's been solid, actually. AJ Green's a good shooter. I really like AJ Green. He's been getting decent minutes. I think the problem with him is teams are going to know he's a good shooter, so they're just going to guard him. They're going to guard him tight. They're going to face guard him. They're not going to let him have breathing room to be able to shoot the ball. And when you do that, it kind of eliminates him. But with Giannis healthy, that could be very beneficial. But as of now, Giannis isn't healthy, so, I mean, we aren't seeing much. But just looking at this team, other than that, I mean, Tyler Smith they drafted. He's also been getting very little minutes. He's averaging 1.4 points per game. Might as well give him a shot to play as of now. But I think where they're going to have to do some stuff is at the trade deadline. I think they're going to have to make some critical moves, which I know isn't going to be easy. And I know, certain people will be attached. I know people that are very attached to some of these Bucks players, and they don't want them to go. But sometimes you got to get rid of those players that you really love to be able to win games. I mean, we saw how the Boston Celtics had to get rid of Marcus Smart, who they all loved, and then it ended up getting him Drew Holiday, which ended up helping him win a championship. So, I mean, you could say it as it is, but I think they have to make some significant moves. Some certain depth pieces, I guess, if you don't want to get rid of a lot, since the Bucks don't have great draft capital. Let me actually look up their draft situation, because this could be interesting for the Bucks if I can find it. Okay, I can't find it right now, but I believe I don't think they have their first round pick this year. I think it's owned by the Nets or something like that. So that could be interesting. Let me just make sure. 2020. Sorry. Let me just check future draft picks. So it says they have one in 2025, but it is a first round pick to New Orleans Pelicans, projected for selections 5 through 30, or to Brooklyn, projected for selections 1 through 4. So yeah, I don't think the Bucks have their pick this year, so that could be an issue. They do have a second round pick, but that, I believe it says to Cleveland. So I mean, I don't even think they own that pick unless that's theirs. But either way, they really don't have many picks. So right now, I think they need to look to. Honestly, the Bucks are in a tough situation. They might have to trade one of their stars, meaning either Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, or Chris Middleton. If I were to say anything, I don't think you should trade Brook Lopez. He has been a very solid center for them, and I think he's a center that you could keep for a couple more years and still be a very solid pick. But Bobby Portis might have to be the guy that they have to move on from. Obviously he's going to help them win the championship, but I really don't know what the Bucks can do here. Actually, you know what? No, we'll keep Bobby Portis. We'll keep Brooke Lopez, but let's trade Chris Middleton. I think the Bucks need to trade Chris Middleton. He's been injured too much lately. The problem is what is a team going to give up for Chris Middleton? I will try to find those in later episodes, as I think either in an episode or two we're going to be breaking down some trades that certain teams need to do with certain stars. So we'll break down. Chris Middleton will definitely be on that list. We'll probably add Zach LaVine to that as well. But the Bucks, they got some work to do. They need, in my opinion now, to trade Chris Middleton. Go out and get some depth pieces. You don't need necessarily another star. You just need another guy that's going to complement Giannis and Dame. If Chris Middleton's healthy, can this team be a championship team? I don't think so anymore, just because I don't know how much Chris Middleton's going to help anymore, just due to the fact of he's always injured. And who knows if he's even going to play this season. But overall, let me know what you guys think of what the Bucks need to do, because I think they need to move on from Chris Middleton, add some depth pieces, and maybe some draft capital to help them build, because young players also can help build depth. But they also need to play their young players that they have right now in A.J. Johnson, Marjon Beauchamp, Tyler Smith, like they're playing Andre Jackson. Might as well just try it. I mean, Pat Connaughton and DeLon Wright aren't really doing much for you. Let me check. Taurean Prince is doing pretty good, so you keep playing him. But other than that, just play your young guys. Let them develop. I mean, we've seen this with the Nuggets. They've had to do the same thing. Do it. Just play their young guys and let them cook. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Bucks. I don't think they're in trouble. I don't know if there's enough to panic yet, but if they get into the middle of the season 30 games in and they've only won 10 to 15 games, that could be an issue, and that could be something to be concerned about as a Bucks fan, if you guys are a Bucks fan. But let me know what you guys think of the Bucks. Do you think they are do you think they should panic, or are they in a good spot? They're just not healthy, or something else. Let me know what you guys think and how you think the Bucks have started off the season and how they will finish the season. But anyways, that is the end of this episode. If you haven't already, go down below, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. It's free. It's simple. And I would love to be able to keep in touch with you guys, because I just love being able to talk to all of you guys about sports, because that is what I love to talk about, sports. I'm going to give a quick update on my picks from week 9 of the NFL. I like to do that every week. If you want to check out my picks every single week, though, see my post about it, check me out on Instagram. It's at Sports Talk with _JWock3. But overall, I went 11-4 on the week, so pretty good week. And now my record is sitting at 68-38. So now I am 30 games above 500, which is huge compared to a couple weeks ago. But yeah, check me out on Instagram. Check me out on TikTok. I still haven't posted a video, but we will be getting that up real soon here. Sports Talk with JWock. Go search that up. You can check me out there. And if there's any other social media platforms you guys want to see me on, let me know. I'd like to be able to increase my brand and be able to help reach out to more people. But let me know what you guys think. But that is going to be the end of today's episode. I think today was 32 this week. So, yeah, I mean, we're getting there. We're getting close to the end of the year. It's exciting. The NBA season is off, and I am so happy for it to be back. But thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of Sports Talk with JWock. It's been real. I'm JWock and Foos. I hope you all have a great week. God bless.